conversation amongst people, unequal as they may be?
It's difficult, you know. I haven't mentioned anything on social media about the win.
Yeah.
I haven't touched on the victory, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see a black captain, deservedly so.
Yeah.
Not because of historical reasons why he's there and why he's lifting the trophy.
Yeah.
He deserves that position. And for him to be the first black, not only in SA, but in rugby generally of any country, is he the first black to lift it? He deserves it, to see. He's worked hard and he's an epitome of what there is generally out there. I mean, we've said so many times and we got into trouble with it. We talk about transformation. We're introducing what we do on radio, the room dividers, which also led to some of us being fired at some point on radio. I'm humbled when I see it, and I'm humbled at the numbers that are projected in terms of who is there as a black person. Mapimpi was not being hailed as an answer to how do we score tries. They were writing him off. Remember, there's a cabal of print journalists whose job it is to push a certain agenda.
Sure.
And he was a victim of that. Mapimpi now sits on 14 tests and 14 tries. Who can argue against stats like that? You can't. Mwongimbo Nambi was sitting on 100% throws when it comes to lineouts up until 2 matches ago. But still, he's a black man who's earned a place in the Springbok team. I hardly call them the Springboks. I usually call them the South African rugby national team. Because just like the Proteas had to give up the Springbok and use the Protea, the Springbok was always a symbol of the past.
Yeah.
It carried that. Then there was a compromise with the NSC as it was then, and under Mandela's leadership. And so the half Protea, half Springbok was the compromise. Just like with the national anthem, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know, so we don't drastically change things. So that was it. In the same way that I still don't take easily to a Craven week. Because Craven is not just any person. Craven is that person who said that no black person would wear a Springbok jersey. So we mustn't lose sight of such utterances, and we'd be happy as black people to say, hey, my kid is part of Craven week. Who is Craven? It's like still saying that it's Jan Smuts Airport. Would you have stood for Power Tambo still being called Jan Smuts International Airport? You wouldn't have stood for that. But there's still these symbolisms within rugby that need to be eradicated. And the white people that are saying to dog, hey, how are you? Hey, bro, hey, putti, how are you? They must be in the forefront of saying, guys, how do we change Craven Week into something else?
Absolutely.
Don't just appear when things are nice, when qualification has happened, and all of a sudden, because Mapimpi is scoring tries, that now we are all part of this hula hoo, rah-rah kind of noise. Lead from the front, see the inequality, be a part of the solution. Don't just wait for things to happen. And that is why, for me, the battle when it comes to transformation is exactly that there are still those elements that still exist. You know, and I mean, I'll never shy away from voicing it. I am just happy to have seen an improvement where Rassi has given people who deserve it. Minuchanchi was missing, you know, obviously because of doping issues, but he would have been there. He was an IRB breakthrough player of the year. He's a black guy that would have never gone to a South African player, not just a black player, but a South African. It's never happened. A Jongi Nokwe scoring 4 tries against Australia at Ellis Park was a first South African, not a first black. You know, so we must take all of these achievements by black Springbok players and say, you know what, there could actually be 15 black guys who run out.
Absolutely.
You know, will the guys why is the Guijo squad left behind? If people who were pouring in money and paying for trips to be made to Japan